Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 51 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we're talking about making confident requests. What the heck does this mean? It means that we ask for what we want, and we ask for it in a way that is clear, concise, direct, and unapologetically, right? We're not going to apologize or buffer or anyway minimize our ask, our communication. Confident people ask directly for what they want. They know that the worst case scenario is the answer is going to be no. Hello. I had one of my younger sisters growing up was the queen of it was called the broken record syndrome, because she would ask for the same thing day in and day out until my parents would actually be worn down and have to give in. One year she asked for a paper doll poke out book every day, every single day for like 2 months. And finally my parents were like, okay, we're getting you a poke out book because we can't stand hearing about it every single day, all day long. And that's the power of directly asking to have your needs met, directly asking without apologizing, without filtering, without minimizing for what you need, want, and desire. Will the answer always be yes? Absolutely not. I don't know anybody that's gotten a yes on everything in their life or gotten everything they've ever wanted without having to ask more than once. But we want to keep in mind that indirect, confused requests, a confused mind says no, no matter what the situation. It's a pretty popular saying in sales these days, but it's true of everything and anything. If we communicate in a foggy way and we're not clear and concise, the person that we're communicating with is not going to have any idea what it is that we actually need or want. And so they're either going to ignore it or they're just going to say no. So we want to make sure that when we're asking, and our action today is going to be to make a direct request to someone about something that we want, right? Something that we want or something that we need. We all have needs and wants and desires. It's, are we communicating them in a confident way or not? If we are, guess what? We get a lot more yeses than nos. If we aren't, people are just like, I don't have the energy to try to figure out what you want. So no, thank you. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make one direct request, and we're not going to apologize, whether it's asking for a favor, whether it's asking to invite somebody to connect, whether it's asking for a need in a relationship or a situation, whether it's asking for a change or a refund to something that we're not using anymore. Whatever it is, we're going to ask. And we're going to share in the comments below what we asked for or what we're going to ask for. I'm going to challenge you to do this today. I don't want you to drag it out because we've got a lot more topics to cover this month. So if you do each little action item every day, you'll get a lot better results than if you're like, oh, I don't have time for that today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then all of a sudden you're 4 days behind and you're like overwhelmed and want to quit because you just didn't do the 4 days. If you ever get stuck or stalled out or don't do something, just pick up where you left off the next day. Never feel like this is a burden. How many times, and here's a couple of things to think about today. What do you want that you're not asking for or have not yet asked for because you are either afraid of rejection or of the answer being no, or you're afraid of being a burden? Now, I think this is a really interesting way to look at things, because a lot of times we do that. We don't ask because we don't want to be a bother. We don't want to be a burden. We don't want to, upset anybody. We don't want to waste their time and energy. We don't want them to say no and reject us. All of that is on them. Everybody has free will, so we can always all say no to certain things, right? If somebody asks me to do something that doesn't match my core values, it's an automatic no. I don't even have to think about it. It's like they say it, they request it directly, and my answer is a very direct one sentence no, because it doesn't line up with my core values, priorities, objectives, etc. So it's easy to make decisions in those situations. Then ask yourself, how would my life be different if I were to ask clearly for what I want 80% more often? The old 80-20 rule. I think your life would be way more than 80% better, right? Because you'd be actually getting the things that you want so much sooner, so much more easily, with so much less drama, trauma, negativity, false beliefs, and all that jazz. And then again, what's the worst that can happen if somebody says no? And can you handle that? I think the biggest example of this I can think of is if you are if somebody's asking you to marry them and they say no, that's a pretty big rejection. But can you handle it? Absolutely, positively, yes. If you ask somebody to go in business with you or speak at your event and they say no, is it the end of the world? No, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and it's not hard to fill any kind of an event with more than enough people to create the objectives that you want in that scenario. So that's what we're talking about today. Go out, make a request of someone for something that you need, want, or desire, and make it a direct request. No mamby-pamby request. Make it a great, clear, concise, direct request without over-explaining, without apologizing, and see what happens. That's it. If I can help you in any way, ask directly. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.